Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for my first art vlog. I've been busy doing these one-day drawings, a series, and really takes up a lot of my time, so I don't feel like I have as much time to do blog posts, a lot of writing and editing, or elaborate videos, but I can do these sort of quick ones where I just run off and say what's on my mind, and don't really have to edit and stuff. So I'm working on these one-day drawings. Here's one, here's two, and here's three. So these I try to complete in a single day, but sometimes it spills over to the next day depending on when I start. I've stayed up till 5 in the morning finishing. And actually this one, let's look closer. So I'll talk about that. Here's one in progress. I have two choices here, early stages. And here's a practice painting I'm doing. So let me first start off with the practice painting, explain what that's about. This is just, okay, by the way, mine is the one on the left. The original is on the right. It's by this guy named something Wong, and he does these incredible still lifes. And the reason I'm copying it is to practice shading and modeling and lighting, which he does so spectacularly well, like this salt shaker. That salt shaker alone makes my day. It's gorgeous. So I try and study, you know, all the lighting and stuff. Obviously I'm doing this digitally. It actually looks pretty close from a distance, but I can show you how far off I'm just eyeballing it for the practice. Here's the original, here's mine, the original, mine. Which prescription do you prefer? Which is more clear, A or B? A, B. So you can see I've got things off. It's not really important to me to get it exact, but I try to. I'm really into all the little shading things, like, let's look at how good this thing is. It's really quite marvelous. Let me create a new layer to draw on. So some of the things I like about this, yeah, I work with a drawing tablet. It's on my lap on a pillow, and it's really easy to hit the wrong button or something. So let's get a good color. Okay, so like you have this is the main color here. Spectacular, like yellow, like a street warning line yellow. And then here you can see this kind of thing, you know, how do you do the shading? This is what I'm interested in. Here's your brightest color, purest color, then it starts to shade, gets darker, and then this very important part is this, I think they call it rim light on the edge. And then over here, it's not quite the same, it's not as dark as over here, it's a little lighter, and then you have the shadow. Same on this one, how to get that spherical thing. So in just replicating it as best I can, I learned the technique a bit. You have to think about it. So the other spectacular things, like the way this becomes lighter right at the edge of the handle. I love this blue. You got these 3 shades of green right here. It's purple and this purple blue. But the main thing for me was the salt shaker. You can see mine is a little short, and I was wondering, how did he get these perfect little holes in the top? One way to do it would be to like make a perspectival grid. Oh man, get all the ellipses right and try and do it almost mathematically with a formula and really think about it. But that's not what he did. He just kind of winged it. I see, you know, when I copied, there were 2, 3, 4, and then 3 holes, and it was basically just putting circles down and then a lighter part thinking that the light is coming from the front left, so it hits the back. And then voila, you got this great metallic effect. So there's a lot of effects in here, great color things, like this green, just love that green. But that green, if you isolate it, let's do that. If you isolate this green, it's actually kind of an ugly snot green. I'm on the top. Why is it working? There we go. It's an ugly snot green. But in here, you see a couple different shades of it. It's quite beautiful. Look what that color looks like. Look at that. And then there's this lighter yellow. This purple, you know, from this yellow to this purple. Yeah, another yellow. Didn't realize it was that much darker. And then this purple. So another thing I'm interested in, when you see my drawings, there's a lot of outlines right now. It's partly because I'm working super economically, but here there are no outlines. It's just going with this purple. You've got these great shades, differences, green, purples, pinks, this deep purple. There's no edge here, it's all blended from lights to dark. And when I was drawing this, I was really into this. This little line right here is so critical. That's a nice combo. Okay, so I'm doing that kind of practice. I do a half-hour a day before I work on my own one-day drawings, just to kind of get this in my subconscious. Obviously, what I'm doing is much easier doing it digitally, but it works. I think it's great practice. Okay, like that. Let's look at, okay, we can look at this one. I was doing between two. They start off as 10 drawings, just quick sketches, 1 minute. And then I do 5, take the 5 best, do 2-minute drawings. And then I do the 3 best for, oh no, I do the 5 best for 3-minute drawings. And then the 3 best for 5-minute drawings, the 2 best for 10-minute drawings. That's where this is. So this is a 10-minute drawing here. I was trying to be different from the other 3 I did so far, so it's a weird, squiggly, cartoonish thing so far. Here was the other one, and I let my girlfriend have some input. Might as well. She's putting up with me doing these all day and being rather obsessive about it. So she prefers this one. I was leaning towards this one because I had some plans. Like there's a skeleton and then this outline of a figure, and making it transparent in what colors I was going to do. And this guy on the left. But anyways, this one seems cool. 2 helmeted, goofy sorts of figures. Maybe I'll make them a little less goofy. Some sort of things coming out of the top of their head, almost like thought bubbles. They have different masks. This guy's got some weird tube. Let's see. I like this guy's nose here. Look how I draw on this. Remote in my hand. Oh, there we go. Getting over like a week-long cold thing. Yeah, I like his nose. And I kind of like that this guy's ear is like in this recess. And he's got, his ear is just going to be this completely bizarre shape. I'm not going to make it like a real ear. You know, look at these guys' eyes. And they're different. I think this one, I'm going to make his eye more like a circle. I think coming out. I don't want it to look like a penis. Kind of does. That's, you know, someone else might be into that or me at some other point, but not now. This, I think I'm going to have this tube going behind, make his neck thicker. There's some sort of weird fleshy thing here over the top. Maybe I'll put it in front of the mask. He's got his weird ear. And I don't know what these thought bubble things will be. Maybe, yeah, some weird exotic layer thing. This one, maybe some weird other thing. Try and make it correspond with thought somehow. I don't know, soft greens, pinks, I don't know. Shoulders, he's got a couple shoulders going. He's got a couple design on his helmet. I don't know what I'll do with shading. There seems like maybe something here coming out, some phlegmy, cloudy thing. These are like their thought bubbles, dreams, whatever. It's kind of interesting, not my usual style. We'll see what we get there. So let me just trash this layer. Yeah, just scribble with one brush. I like to work with one brush if I can. This is all done with one brush. So I'm not switching back and forth too much. Let's go to the first one, down by the river. Let's look at it, and you can see it without disturbances. The content, one thing I would want people to try and look at it as it's lying on its side with its hand. Can I draw on this? Oops. So this hand, you can see his fingers behind the big eye. So I see it as lying on its side and maybe even half buried. And it's, you know, looking in the water. And note these two antenna type things or sticks. I'm not sure what it's looking for, something lost in the water, its own reflection, could be. It's a giant eyeball. It's got its wrinkly neck. I like some of the greens in here. And this, if you know Francis Bacon, I think you can see his influence in his hand and his arm. And yep, that's about it. Bit sci-fi. That was the first one. And let's see. One on Monster and Hot Pursuit. Monster and Hot Pursuit. This is the second one. And yeah, what I like about this one is stuff like, you have the black outline, which I may try and get away from in the future, but I also kind of like it, and the new one's more cartoonish. So you have this creature chasing this thing that looks like a saw or a hatchet. I like that. I don't know what it is. And I like this red here in the wave. I thought the wave came out pretty good. And the edge here I like it looks like paint on there. Like maybe he went through something. His eye I rather like. And it's really kind of like a Edvard Munch scream. I recently watched a documentary on Munch. I'm not a huge fan. I think I like Ensor better than Munch. I like Emil Nolde better than Munch. But there's a little Munch in this, maybe because I watched it, it's in my head. This monster, he seems a little comical to me. Here you can see like me trying to do those kind of effects, like I pointed out in the practice painting, going from light to darker and then this light part here. And I'm signing these, putting a little signature, just add to the traditional value. There's a lot of people who automatically dislike digital art and try to dismiss it, which I think is just nuts at this point. Not only do I have a traditional art background, I didn't even start digital art until after I got my master's degree, and then I trained myself completely, starting with Photoshop, and I consider myself completely self-trained on the computer. As a matter of fact, my drawing skills are self-trained as well. In art school, it was mostly conceptual stuff. Anyways, there's this guy. But I think the look is very traditional, and if you look at this and you want to dismiss it because it's digital, I think that's kind of hard to do. Plus, there's so many good things about digital. I'll talk about that some other time. Here's number 3. This one was a little more ambitious, more drawing-oriented. The alien, insect-like, aliens, but ant-like, isn't he? Has a lot of perspective. I just winged it, but there you go. Why can't I draw on this layer? This is not a layer. Yeah, I made the ship in the background. I would have loved to spend more time on this ship, but I like the idea of getting it done in one day. So this is a critical thing. At first, I was going to do 3 of these, and then take the best one, which I think is this one, and then work on it larger and get out the wrinkles and clean it up a bit. Like there's parts here that are kind of, like this is a little, to me, messy. You know, here it's a bit rough. It's just from these previous layers and things. But overall it works. And I started to work on a larger version of this and I found I wasn't really improving it. Like I could make this head more realistic, make it look a little more like David Bowie, but it was losing a little bit of the drama. So I realized that I think it's better to try and keep them at one day and just get better at working faster and more efficiently. And get rid of the risk of infinite editing and over-refinement, which is something I get caught up in because I like to edit and I'm a bit of a perfectionist. Off in the distance you can hear sawing going on. I live in Siem Reap, and in Asia there is really no respect for what's it called? Noise, invasion of noise. I don't even know what it's called anymore because the concept just doesn't exist here. There's no, you know, before 10, after 10. There's respect for other things that we don't respect in the West, a lot of respect for elders and things, but noise, man, they can really go crazy. So this is number 3. And yeah, the main thing I wanted to share is so I'm trying to knock out one of these almost every day, maybe every other day. There's some spillover, and try and get really a lot of them for high productivity and see what kind of crazy things I can come up with. There's a lot of range for the imagination and styles because I work digitally. Some are going to be painterly. Maybe I'll do something different. The first 2, I had one-eyed monsters. One-eyed monster number 2, one-eyed monster number 1. Even the saw guy has only one eye. So there's this one. Now everyone's gonna have 2 eyes. And we had a lot of monsters and battles. So these guys are a bit more goofy and they're not in battle with each other. So now I just have a quick word from a sponsor, and that's my first vlog. Why vacuum when you can steam clean your carpet? The vacuum just gets up the surface particles, whereas the steam cleaner gives it the equivalent of a deep shampooing. You wouldn't shampoo your hair, would you? I didn't think so. Buy the Power Steamer by Ronco. You'll be glad you did, and your carpet will thank you too. Why, that old rug will look like it just rolled off the showroom floor. This has been Art and Criticism by Eric Wayne. Thank you for watching vlog number 1, and buy a Power Steamer by Ronco. You'll be glad you did, and your carpet will thank you too. Thank you.